Hi, and welcome to my macro project presentation. My name is Ashley Hanson, and I'm a year one MSW student intern at the Lehman Center Adults next to ETS on County Farm Road in Riverside, California. And throughout my experience of being an MSW intern at the Lehman Center Adults, I encountered multiple occasions where consumers and community members alike would come in just asking questions and identifying that they needed housing or food or clothing. And everybody from the OA staff to clinical staff to peer supports would give them, to the best of their ability, community resources. And then I would see repeatedly people coming in saying that the resource was no longer available or didn't exist. And so I saw a need for updated resource manuals. And the theory behind what I'm doing for this macro project is found in conflict theory. I've always had my sociological imagination on when I approach things, because for many people we view phenomenon within our society very simplistically, and we always attach labeling to people. Like if somebody is homeless, oh, it's because they're lazy, or they're on drugs, or they have a mental illness. And I wanted to try and move away from that and see that resources are in fact a human right. And so, one thing that has always stuck with me throughout my journey as an MSW student was when I heard a saying that in times of oppression, you're either oppressed or the oppressor. And I don't want to be the oppressor. So I took on this challenge of updating the resources within the clinic that we give to people. But on top of that, I really advocated for like a structural change to occur, where it became mandatory and part of policy that every person within the clinic, despite their position, was going to hand out this updated resource to every individual, whether they were receiving services or not. From OA staff, clinical staff, everybody was going to hand out this updated resource manual that had everything within the Western region area. So I named the PDF file and resource manual the Western region resource manual, the Western region area directory. So I reviewed all of my idea and my concept with my immediate supervisor, Nina Lay. We created a timeline. I started working on it in the clinic. And so Nina is a key stakeholder, right? She has a vested interest in providing services and resources to consumers and community members. Other stakeholders in this process was the clinic manager and supervisor over both Lehman Center Adult and Children's Clinic was Cherie Marquez, all the way up to the Director of Behavioral Health Services, Matthew Chang. And other community stakeholders that I identified was nonprofit organizations, faith-based organizations, and the like. And then so I started creating a PDF file, because what I realized is that if we only stick to a paper resource manual, not everybody is going to get it. It's going to run out. And fiscally speaking, as far as financial concerns within the county, it was easier and more convenient and financially sufficient to create a PDF file that could be easily shared within all levels of the service structure within behavioral health. And like I said, with conflict theory, right, it was created by Karl Marx. And the idea is that there's two levels. There's the bourgeoisie, and then those who own the means of production, and then the workers themselves. And once the coronavirus hit and I was pulled from my clinic, I was able to see this on a grand scale, right? And there became this need to house every single homeless individual within the state of California, clear across the nation. And so that highlighted even more that these individuals need access to resources. And within conflict theory, there's the idea that the elite hold the means to the resource. And being a provider within the clinic, I don't want to be the oppressor. And these individuals, every single community member deserves access to their human rights and resources: food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, and my resource manual, the Western Region Area Directory, aims at providing that to every single person. And I believe that the most significant impact that this project will make is in reducing staff bias and the adverse effects staff bias have on the community members themselves. Like I said, I often saw staff who were reluctant to provide the consumer or community member with anything because they were labeling them. So, in closing, it's important to see that in providing services, we always have hold this higher hierarchy over those who are coming in, and the resource directory aims at reducing these disparities and these internal biases that we hold towards people. And when it's implemented as a mandatory policy to provide every person with this area directory, it's reducing that hierarchy, and it's actually allowing the person to fulfill their own needs if and when they need it. So quick, easy access to community resources is going to reduce the disparities that our community members face within a macro aspect of providing services. So thank you, and I absolutely loved this course, and I look forward to really getting to evaluate the long-term impact the Western Region Area Directory played within providing services to our members. Thank you.